Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to or welcome back to the Murderous Minds True Crime channel. I'm your host, Poppy. Happy New Year, everyone. How are you all doing? I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and New Year. And I hope that your New Year is as beautiful as you all are. So, I'm sure you feel the same, but I've had enough of all the BS that's been put out by Gypsy and her minions about this bloody wheelchair and her useless freaking legs. So I thought I'd put the truth out as somebody that actually does go through something that I think might be the same. So did you know that there is actually a medical condition associated with seizures that can cause temporary leg paralysis? Well, Gypsy knew, so did Dee Dee, and so did those doctors. In fact, they would have explained all of this to Gypsy and Dee Dee after the surgery where, she said when she came round, they told her she couldn't walk. No, she told them, and then they explained why. But you see, Gypsy keeps claiming that the medical professionals didn't know if her post-seizure paralysis was permanent or not, despite it being quite a common side effect of seizures, known as Todd's paralysis, aka paresis. It's a post-ictal state where weakness or complete paralysis occurs and can sometimes even appear like a stroke. There's no treatment for it exactly, so unfortunately you just have to try and manage your epilepsy as best as possible. The reason I know about this is that I am epileptic and I have had seizures my whole life, as far as I know. When I was a child, I was diagnosed with febrile convulsions, which in other words means we don't know what's causing the fits or why it's happening or how to treat it, but she'll grow out of it, we think. I didn't, but I did finally get diagnosed with epilepsy when I was in my early 20s. My fits are triggered by stress, though. I do get a little woozy and lightheaded from flashing lights, but nothing major. It's stress for me, which I'm sure you all know isn't avoidable or optional. Anywho, more often than not, I lose the use of my legs after I've had a seizure. Usually it's only for like 5-10 minutes or so, sometimes a little longer. But sometimes and very rarely, it can take up to a couple of days for the feeling and the use of my legs to return. It all depends on the severity of the fit. If like, I had one once and it completely took my vision for 2 days. I was completely blind. It was terrifying. Um, but that was the worst fit I'd ever had, and it seems to have been a one-off. Usually it's just my legs. But temporarily losing the use of your legs after having a seizure, it is common, quite common, and the doctors and medics would have known that too. I think they probably told Gypsy and her mom that the feeling would return soon, but here's a wheelchair to use while your strength returns, or maybe even advised her to continue using a wheelchair she was already in because of the issues she'd got with her legs and hips, which affected her walking ability. Either way, you can bet that Gypsy played on it back at home because, well, it got Mommy pandering to her and Molly coddling her, just how she likes to be treated still to today. It got her sympathy and attention from the public and celebrities. She wasn't afraid of losing her mother's love. That was never even on the cards. She always knew that her mother's love was unconditional. That woman loved her too much, if anything. You know, and Gypsy even knew that, even at that young age, she knew that. She knew that she was her mum's entire world and everything in it, and she learned from a very early age, though, how to manipulate and abuse that love. That's the problem. She took that love, used it and abused it, and then, when her mum, the source of that love, became too sick and too tired and too weak to be of any use to her, having been lovingly nurtured into a healthy young woman now of age, Gypsy chose to spend several years planning her mother's murder and grooming a mentally disabled and vulnerable young man into doing it for her, after several failed attempts by herself. But, as she said to Nick in her video, nobody would want to know her when they learned she was a liar. She also used the stress of having to look after her mum as an excuse for her shitty attitude towards Nick, though, but that's not to do with this. But I believe that Dee Dee knew Gypsy was a liar and dangerous, and Gypsy knew she knew. And well, we've seen what she does to people that dare to question her stories or call her out on them. How very dare we? Well, we can't and won't be silenced. So let's keep the truth train chugging along. Justice for Dee Dee, justice for Nick, and justice for Stephanie. That's my 5 pence worth, my darlings, and I would love to know what you think, so please comment down below. And also let me know, have any of you heard of Todd's paralysis, aka paresis? Do you or anyone you know suffer from this condition? And what has your experience been like? I'd really love to hear about it from you. I look forward to chatting with all of you in the comments and getting to know your thoughts and opinions. Please be kind to yourselves and others. I love and appreciate you all so very much. Until next time, my loves. Bye.